This is Zach Bagan.
Author Alexandra Holzer.
Professor Lloyd Auerbach. Brex Williams.
Justin Perry.
Then you are listening to the ghost host, Sophia Temperilli, on liveparanormal.com.
This is Bill Murphy of Sci-Fi Channel's Fact or Fake Paranormal Files. Congratulations to the ghost host, Sophia Temperilli, for celebrating 1 year in broadcasting on liveparanormal.com.
Hi, this is Marky and Debbie Constantino, EVP Specialist at Scene on the Ghost Adventure. And you're listening to The Ghost Host with your host, Sophia Temperilli, on liveparanormal.com. And if you don't know it yet, she rocks.
Thank you for coming on my show.
Oh, thanks, Sophia. Thanks for having me.
So what inspired you early on to pursue becoming a director?
I would say Steven Spielberg. He kind of rocked my world when I saw Jaws, and I was about 5 years old. I was way too young to see it, and it freaked me out. The opening scene, I remember having just turned the volume down to nothing because I was so freaked out. But something in that just made me fall in love with films and horror films. And so, yeah, I would credit Steven Spielberg, as like many filmmakers, for inspiring me to become a director.
And what directors within the horror and sci-fi genre inspire your work old or new today?
For sci-fi and horror, I don't know. I just saw James Wan's Insidious, which I thought was really excellent, really well crafted, and freaked me out really hardcore. But yeah, I'd say Steven Spielberg probably, but John Carpenter, just all the old guys, you know, all the 80s schlock guys. Those are David Cronenberg. His films are, you know, body horror and all that. Those are really good.
And tell us about the film you directed and what we can expect as a viewer.
The film is called It's in the Blood, and it's a psychological horror movie about a father and a son who are kind of estranged. They go out into the woods, and they have to confront their demons, both metaphorically and literally. So I guess it's more of a mind, you know, a mind scare, mind journey. But yeah, that's pretty much It's in the Blood.
And what individual criteria did you utilize when selecting your main actors with the film's casting director? Walk us through some of the key attributes you were seeking initially.
We basically went through the cast of Aliens and sort of were considering all the various guys that we like, Bill Paxton, you know, Lance, obviously, Lance Henriksen. But we settled on Lance early on because, you know, based on his experience, he was always just kind of our top pick to play Russell. He's very gruff, you know. He's got just a lot of gravitas and charisma as an actor. So we pretty much decided to go for him early on. He was the only person we offered the part to. We'd also considered Ed Harris, but I think we just ultimately decided to go with Lance because of his icon. You know, he's a horror icon, and you know, he would lend like a huge audience support to the film. And he was great. He was just like amazing because I wanted to do a lot of improv, and so I needed somebody who was open to doing that and wouldn't be afraid to do that. And some actors, you know, kind of prefer to just, you know, go based on the script. But Lance, based on his past work, you know, on Dead Man and such films like that, I was reading about him, and he seemed really into that. So that's what we did, and we basically we didn't improvise the whole script, but we did improvise quite a bit of it because I was working with a first-time actor who also co-wrote and produced the film with me, and so I knew I needed to be able to just focus on getting the best performance I could out of him. And so we figured if we went off script, you know, and we could just play kind of actor games with him and Lance, that we would find a lot of stuff that otherwise, you know, maybe he wouldn't be able to execute on his first film, or not be able to execute, but I just wanted to really dig down and get to the grit of it. So all those things kind of were part of the casting process.
And is there any actual person or a character that you kind of drew from for their characters?
Well, they say that every character in your film is somehow a reflection of you, even if it's like a girl, a high school girl, you know, or something like that. So I guess in some ways it's reflective of me. I co-wrote it with my friend. I don't know. I guess I have daddy issues. I don't know, because the film is, you know, father and son. But my dad is great. He's nothing like Russell, so I can't really say that. But yeah, I think it was just sort of dealing with the ideas of depression, sort of that sort of dark world, you know, I was kind of familiar with, more so with people that I interacted with. So we really wanted to explore that in the film. So that's kind of where it came out of.
How did you prepare yourself for this film?
I went to film school, you know, just to learn the craft. But I had done probably like 100-something short films in high school. You know, just silly little spoofy stuff with my friends. But you can't really prepare for it. It's kind of like this wild train ride, and even though you're conducting it, you're just kind of like holding on, like as it's charging through. It was really my graduate school for film, was just making this feature, because you learn so much. So I would just say to any filmmaker out there, you could go and do the Werner Herzog Film School, which is like walk 1,000 miles across the country or something, you know, just gain life experience, work on yourself, you know, your spiritual life, and focusing on God or whatever. And so there's that, and then there's just preparing emotionally for the toll that's going to take, because it's going to be a long process probably if it's going to be your first feature. It took 4 years from script to now to get this film made, so you got to be really dedicated and be able to persevere, and people are going to tell you you can't do it, or, you know, there's going to be a lot of threshold guardians that are going to be telling you no, you know, and you just have to follow your gut and go for your dreams.
Well, thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.